You left. Maybe it was months ago, maybe years. And as far as everyone knows, you're fine. You're working, you're functioning. Maybe you're even earning good money, like really good money. But here's what you haven't told anyone. At 2 a.m., when you can't sleep, you're still thinking about him. You check his social media, even though you hate yourself every time. You replay conversations, wondering what you could have said differently. You make excuses for what he did, even now. And the worst part, you're ashamed because you had every resource imaginable and you still couldn't just move on. Look, I made over $450,000 a year and I was still trauma bonded for years after leaving. So when I teach you these 10 signs today, I know exactly what it feels like to have everything, the career, the income, the outward success, and still be completely trapped inside your own head. This isn't weakness. This isn't love. This is trauma bonding, and it's one of the most powerful psychological forces on earth. It's literally wired into your biology. And once you understand what's actually happening inside your brain, you can finally stop blaming yourself and start breaking free. Before the 10 signs, I want to give you one piece of information that's going to reframe everything. Your brain on a trauma bond is chemically identical to your brain on drugs. During the bad times, criticism, fights, walking on eggshells, your brain floods with cortisol. That's the stress hormone. And during the good times, apologies, tenderness, I'll never do it again, your brain surges with dopamine, which is the reward chemical. And during reconciliation or makeup, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, cements your attachment more. This cycle of stress relief bonding creates a genuine chemical addiction. Studies show that unpredictable rewards create the strongest addictions. It's why slot machines work. When you never know if you're going to get kindness or cruelty, your brain becomes obsessed with getting to the next good moment. So if you can't stop thinking about him, or why other relationships feel boring, or why you can't just move on, it's because your brain is in withdrawal and you can't think your way out of withdrawal. You have to heal your way out. As I go through these signs, notice which ones resonate with you. Don't judge yourself, just notice. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Sign number one, you defend him to others. When friends criticize him, you explain, you don't understand him. He's not always like that. Even after leaving, you feel protective of his reputation. The trauma bond creates us against the world. And look, the version that hurt you was the real him. The charming version is the mask. Okay. Sign number two, you minimize what happened. It wasn't that bad, or other people have it worse. You downplay the abuse, even to yourself. Minimizing protects the bond. If it wasn't that bad, then still caring isn't that wrong. But your nervous system doesn't lie. Your body remembers. Sign number three, you focus on the good times. You replay the beginning on a loop, the way he looked at you, the gifts, the attention, and you think, if we could just get back to that. This is what I missed for years. Those early moments weren't separate from the abuse, they were part of the abuse cycle. Love bombing creates attachment that makes abuse possible. Your brain keeps returning because dopamine marked those moments as incredibly important. If you're recognizing yourself in these signs, you're not alone. I put together a free guide, 5 steps to reclaim your identity after abuse, that walks you through how to start rebuilding who you are underneath the bond. The link's in the description. Sign number 4, you believe they'll change. Part of you still hopes, maybe therapy, maybe different circumstances. The trauma bond needs this hope to survive. You're not bonded to who he could become. You're bonded to the cycle. Letting go of hope isn't giving up on love. It's making room for real love. Sign number 5, you feel guilty for leaving. You worry about him. You wonder if leaving broke him. You feel guilty for abandoning him, even though he hurt you. In abusive relationships, you're trained to feel responsible for his well being. His well being was never your responsibility. Not then, and certainly not now. Sign 6, you check his social media obsessively. You know you shouldn't. You tell yourself you'll stop, but somehow you find yourself checking anyway. This is addiction seeking its fix. Every check resets your recovery. You're not checking because you actually need to know. You're checking because you're addicted to the knowing. Sign number 7, everyone else feels boring. New people feel flat. Healthy attention feels boring. You meet someone kind and stable and think, there's no spark. Your nervous system has been calibrated to chaos and craziness. What you're calling boring is actually what safe feels like to a traumatized nervous system. The absence of anxiety isn't the absence of love, it's the presence of peace. If sign number 7 feels like you, your nervous system can absolutely recalibrate, but it needs the right support. That's what my free 5 steps guide is for. The link is below in the description. Sign number 8, part of you is missing. There's an emptiness that won't go away. You feel incomplete, like a piece of yourself is still with him. The emptiness isn't him being gone, it's you being gone. Your identity got consumed. The hollow space is where you used to live before survival mode took over. Sign number 9, you remember the beginning constantly. The early days play on repeat. Your brain keeps returning, trying to reconcile two different realities. That person at the beginning wasn't real, it was a performance. You're mourning someone who was always fiction. Sign number 10, you would go back if he changed. Somewhere deep inside, if he got help, if he really changed, maybe. This is the trauma bond's final hook. It keeps you available. You're not mourning a person, you're mourning a projection. Letting go of that fiction is how freedom begins. So, how many did you recognize in yourself? Whatever that number, recognizing these patterns is not a weakness. It is the beginning of freedom. And understanding trauma bonding isn't enough. You need tools. Here are 3 things you can start today. Action number 1, name it when it happens. When the thoughts come, don't fight them. Name what's happening. This is a trauma bond. This is addiction, not love. My brain is in withdrawal and it will pass. This moves the experience from the emotional brain to the logical brain. Do this every single time you can. Action number 2, cut the digital supply. You cannot heal a wound you keep reopening. Block, mute, delete, whatever it takes. The first 72 hours will be the hardest. Every day without checking is rewiring your brain toward freedom. Action number 3, start your identity work. The trauma bond weakens as you get stronger. Ask yourself, Who was I before? What did I love? What did I dream about becoming before I was consumed by surviving? If those questions are too hard, start with something smaller. What's one thing that lights me up? What's one thing I do that makes me feel joyful and alive? Survivors often stay focused on the abuser. Women who thrive turn their focus back to themselves. What I just taught you is not theory, it's what I lived. I was in two abusive relationships over 18 years, seven attempts to leave before I finally made it out for good. That last time, my face was so swollen I was unrecognizable. I packed a bag, I grabbed my son, and I drove 16 hours straight to my mom. That was over 14 years ago. Today, I am happily remarried. I have two young daughters. I'm a published author. And most importantly, I am free. Not I left free, but I hardly ever think of him. And when I do, I feel nothing. Where you are right now is not where you have to stay. This bond feels permanent, but it is not. The hopelessness feels true, but it's lying to you. You can get to the other side. The first step to breaking a trauma bond is reclaiming your identity, not who he made you, not who you had to become to survive, who you actually are. And I created my free guide to help you start 5 steps to reclaim your identity after abuse. It's the same foundation I use to go from I don't know who I am anymore to building a life I genuinely love. The link is in the description. Please subscribe if this helped you. I post content every week for women who are done just surviving and ready to actually thrive. And before you go, please take a moment and notice your body right now. How are you holding yourself? Are you tucked in, slouch, curled up? Sit or stand up straight. Pull your shoulders back, lift your chin up, put your hands on your hips, and bring a small smile to your lips. And notice the power shift. And remember, you are not weak for struggling with this. You are not broken for still caring. You are a human being whose brain did exactly what brains do in impossible situations. The bond is real, but so is your ability to break it. This is addiction, it's not love. Your brain is healing, and you're already closer to freedom than you think. I'll see you in the next video.